All right. I should be here. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? There we go. Perfect. All right. Let me start that again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to the One Man Low Council. I cannot believe it's Tuesday. It's absolutely insane because all of the days are just so switched around. I know the background might not look like I've done a whole lot of work, but if you look over here to my left, I have two nice Blu-ray shelves filled to the brim with my Blu-ray collection. At some point in the future, I am going to get a legitimate Blu-ray shelf and have it just as one single unit, but for now, I'm liking it so far. It's still a little bit crazy. It's still not exactly perfect, but I would say it's pretty nice. Able to look to my left and actually see all of my Blu-rays pretty easily is just a very nice feat for me because it means I can just look and say, oh, I wonder if I have that. And I can actually look and see most of the titles, not all of them because my eyesight is not that perfect. But hello, everybody, and thank you so much for putting up with the nonsense. But I am now back on the main PC. That means Heimdall is indeed on at this point in time. So you can make sure that you can check your cookie counts, and also you'll be getting your little updates from Heimdall throughout the evening as well. But how is everyone doing? Obviously tonight we are going to be focusing on just how completely stupid Disney is. Disney has become just so much of a joke. Like, it's at this point now where Disney has essentially become a meme, where they just keep doing more and more ridiculous things, and they just don't realize how stupid the things that they're doing are. And for those that maybe aren't aware of what recently happened, the Disney Plus Twitter account, the official Disney Plus Twitter account, the other day decided to say, hey, if you use hashtag May the 4th on this post, which tags Disney Plus and is on the original post, and you use the hashtag May the 4th, we essentially own your tweets. And also, you have to follow the criteria that we have laid out for you. And then they basically put this legalese speak, which is just downright ridiculous. Well, needless to say, luckily, all the fans of Star Wars and just people in general said, no, that's stupid. You can't just tell people how to use a hashtag. By the way, a hashtag which has been around long before Disney took over Star Wars, and the whole concept of May the 4th and the phrase, May the 4th be with you, long preceding the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm, the Disney acquisition of Star Wars. So it just makes me wonder, one, I cannot believe that they would actually be that stupid to claim that they can somehow control people and control their speech. And two, looking into the Bounding into Comics article that I covered today on the main channel, I cannot honestly believe that they actually own the trademark for the phrase, May the 4th be with you. Now, I don't know to what extent they have it. I don't know if that's just on clothing or if that's on just anything that can be sold for cash, but anything basically that has May the 4th is something that they have trademarked, which I always hate when companies do that or people try and do that. You know, when I think it was Paris Hilton said at one point in time, tried to trademark, that's hot. Like, I remember that was a whole thing in the news and everyone called it out saying that's just freaking stupid. I wish that people would say that for any company that tries to trademark an expression or a phrase. It's one thing to trademark your company name. It's one thing to do something like that, but when you're going to trademark an expression, and especially one that's been around for years upon years, long before you owned or had anything to do with the property, yeah, it's freaking ridiculous, man. So hopefully everything is coming through okay now at this point in time. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let me go ahead and jump into my D-Lab fam first. Obviously, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I can't hear, but glad that y'all can hear me now. Captain Mr. Peabody, Captain Mr. Roy, Captain Dean Heiss, Captain ZK-Man, Captain Adam Frank and the clan. What's going on? By the way, Captain Dean Heiss just resubbed for 3 months and is now on an 8-month sub streak. So Captain Dean Heiss, shout out to you, good sir, and thank you very much for being awesome. Phonemo is also over there in the chat. Phonemo also says Disney's PR or social media team needs to be fired. Yeah, pretty much. There's really no good reason for anyone whoever was in charge of getting that tweet put together, maybe not the person posting it, because it could just easily just be someone who is paid to post what they're told, right? They're said, hey, okay, we want you to post this exact thing, and their job is simply to post it. Sometimes they have the same people doing that where they're coming up with it, and then they're actually posting it, etc. But anyone that was involved with that legalese tweet and anything that had to do with that nonsense, I agree. They should be fired because it's giving them terrible PR. Captain Peabody says, if they trademark May the 4th, there are going to be a lot of calendars missing a day. I see what you did there. Captain Darkstar57, thank you very much for being a 9-month sub. Resubbed, and he's been subbed for 9 months, so thank you, Captain Darkstar57. You freaking rock. All right, let me jump over to my YouTube peeps. We got Mr. Peabody, who was over there early on, about an hour plus over there. Him and Frank were having a good time, it looks like. Tina, thank you so much for being here as always. Laura Story, what's going on, says, oh no, no notification. Bad YouTube. Well, as we all know, YouTube sucks. YouTube sucks. They really, really suck. Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Griffin Turbo is here as well. Josue Vagia, G-Monkey76. Tina says, Steph is running a little bit behind. It was another one of those days at work. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully everything's okay, and cannot wait for her to come here back to Asgard. Captain Wingster is in the chat. Gary Tilbrook, what's going on? Hail to you, good sir. Orange Chat Reviews is here as well. Let's see. Alex McCarthy says, howdy, Odin. How's it going? I roasted Disney Plus in a response tweet to them earlier and used the hashtag. That is so beautiful. Thanotos Felicitas, what's going on? Slicer Neons is here as well. Father, I recognized it. Luckily, I had the live chat on, so I was able to get that out there. I normally do that, where I take up and make sure that everything's coming through okay before I get 30 minutes behind. That would not be good. If I was 30 minutes behind and that 30 minutes was silence, oh lordy, that would not be good at all. That would not be good at all. Let's see. Clark Kent says, did you hear about The Last of Us 2 leak? People are pissed. I am not an elite gamer. I try to always make that clear. I'm a casual gamer at best, and I haven't really been following any of it, so I don't know what leaked. I don't know what the deal is, but I have heard that people are upset. Nana Reaper says, at least face forward so we can read your lips. Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny, aren't you? Let me see if I can just move my camera down just a smidge. Oop. I don't want to mess up anything else. There we go. That's a little bit better. Even though it probably looks the exact same to you, it looks just a little bit better to me. Let's see. We hear you now. Yes. All well and good. Yes. JJ's in the chat. What's going on? JJ, glad to have you back. Gloin the Hobbit is here as well. Laura Story says, Jello, JJ. The Phantom Menace, what's going on? Phantom Menace says, get this question right and you get a surprise. In the morning, I walk on all fours. At noon, I walk on 2. And in the evening, I walk on 3 legs. What am I? I've never been good at those, so I have no idea. So Leibowitz, what's going on, good sir? Sicer Neon says, so about that episode 10, Ray Park mocap, always a plus for the lightsaber duels. Wait a minute, you're talking about for the Clone Wars? That Ray Park do motion capture? That doesn't make any sense for the show with the animation style they use. But if that's true, that's awesome. Micah Martinez says, Disney is just so clueless, it's not even funny. May the 4th doesn't belong to them. Yes, I agree, and they are just ridiculous. Member Jace Doe says, wow, Disney trying to own a hashtag, and it's freaking ridiculous. By trying to own the hashtag, they themselves got owned by themselves. Glowing the Hobbit says, your thoughts on Trolls World Tour breaking VOD box office records? I mean, is anyone surprised? The movie theaters are closed. Trolls is geared towards younger kids. Families are going insane because they have to keep their kids, especially their young kids, taken care of on a regular basis. They need any possible distraction that they can possibly get. And so, yeah, it does not surprise me at all that it's broken VOD, video on demand records in that way. Orange Eye Review says, what are the odds that they pulled the hashtag nonsense to try and get money because of their waning value? It could be. One could easily also argue that they did it as a way of getting a lot of popularity. And also keep this in mind. I would argue more people are now using the hashtag May the 4th before May the 4th than I think in the history of the hashtag. And so it could be a marketing ploy on their part to try and get those eyes and ears. However, I think it's not having the right kind of press. I don't think that anyone would want to have that kind of negative press, as the Phantom Menace just dropped a bomb. Holy crap. The Phantom Menace says, the answer is man. Enjoy some of my stimulus money. Thank you, dude. Holy crap, man. Thank you for that $100 super chat. Please, guys, make sure you go and subscribe over to the Phantom Menace. He is good people. I hope that your last live stream, I know that you had a nice long one with Jeremy and friends. So I hope that y'all had a good time. And thank you so much, man. I don't know where my stimulus check is. It's still going to go back into taxes anyway when everything is said and done. But thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. That is not money that I take lightly. I know that a lot of us are struggling right now. And so thank you so much, man, for sharing that. I really do appreciate that. And the answer is, man, I think the reason why I didn't get it is because I'm assuming it went in a dirty location. Is that the reason why? The 3 legs? Maybe that's why I didn't get it. Oh, man. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. All right, let's see. Tina says, I didn't even know about this May 4th stuff until a few years ago. I was clueless. I kept saying, May the 4th, what? I love you, Tina. Slice of Neon's alternate hashtag as the chat jumps on me like it always does. Alrighty, let's see. Alternate hashtag from Slice of Neon's fans should use is the great hashtag Duck Fisney. Pass it on, folks. Now would be a great time. Darkstar57, Randy. I don't know where the shirt is. I don't know where the design is. But now would be the time to put that bad boy public because you could probably make a fair killing on that shirt right now, especially with the news being in the mainstream from Disney. I think that you would do very well right now to release it. Just saying. I don't know how quickly you can, but now would be the time in my own humble opinion. Darth Morals says, Disney claiming a hashtag for themselves is peak signs of authoritarianism. The day will come when the mouse will start to ask you if you have any spare change. Hashtag Duck Fisney now. Yes, I absolutely agree. Tina Bojan, what's going on, girl? How is it going? Glad to see you here. Dion's in the chat. What's going on, Dion? Why did I say Dion? Dion. I don't know why I said that. Jace Doe, who's a member, says, wow, so if I wear a tie that says May the 4th just because it's May the 4th, Disney will sue? I guess it depends on whether or not you bought the tie from them. I think that when it comes to trademark, they'll go after the person that designed that tie if that has no relation to them, if it was made after the trademark was filed. So if it's before the trademark is filed, there's not much they can do with that. But I think that the mindset of trademark is that, let's say I on Teespring designed a shirt that had that expression in the exact way it's spelled on the trademark, on the patent, then if I were to try and sell that, they could have legal means and legal grounds to sue me. Now, I don't know why they'd want to sue me. I don't have a whole lot of money to give them, but obviously they've bullied people before, and so it would not be that much of a surprise. Peter Shower, what's going on, good sir? Gigamus Prime says, Hail Odin just came in from dinner. Hope it was delicious. Gravel Digger's in the chat as well. What's going on? Micah Martinez tagged me and said, I had a dream a couple nights ago where movie theaters reopened with some older classic titles. I miss movie theaters so much. Me too, man. And I hope that dream becomes a reality sooner rather than later. Though, of course, we had that recent news this week that I covered talking about how AMC and Cinemark, at the very least, have made it very clear that they have no intention to open probably until July at some point to try and get the process started so that way they can be fully up and operational by the time Tenet comes out from Warner Brothers. Now, of course, Warner Brothers could try and strong-arm Nolan, which I think would be a terrible idea, because I feel like Nolan's the kind of person where if you do that to him on his project, he would say, all right, yeah, I'm gonna start working with different studios now who actually will respect my creative freedom and the ability for me to stick hard to a date. That's just me. Captain Darkstar57 says, I know, may contact you to show the design. Again, no problem at all, good sir. Let me head over and read some people over on DLive. Captain Peabody says, I see Voltan is back practicing his ice skating. Yes, he is. And look at that form. That's all I have to say. Look at that beautiful form that Voltan has. Or is it, no, is it Voltan? Or is it Zoltan? I feel like I get Zoltar and Voltan mixed up sometimes. So now I need to get it in for myself. All right, Voltan. And then let's just make sure that is from Flash Gordon. Yes. Yep, it's Voltan. Played by Brian Blessed. Gordon's alive. Dive. But yes, he is indeed looking quite good. Will Gentry says, everyone is misunderstanding that Disney hashtag thing. Explanation below. All they were saying was if you use the hashtag in this thread, we have the right to quote you. Yeah, I feel like that is what they were trying to say. So either one, that's what they meant, and they just did a terrible job explaining it, or two, they make it clear that you, or at least this is what was insinuated, that one has to follow the guidelines laid out by Disney on how to use the hashtag in that thread. It made it seem like Disney could either get an account suspended or banned or even legal action if in that thread they were to use that hashtag in a way that was unbecoming of Disney. That's what it seemed to come across as. And then Will Gentry says they worded it very badly. And again, the way it seems, and then he goes on, or use your quote elsewhere and you have no right to any monetary claims, again, is what it seems like. Absolutely, man. Yeah, again, I think that if it was poorly worded, then it was very, very bad. But based on what I read, I think that's what they were trying to do, saying, hey, if you put the hashtag here, we have the right to use it, and you don't get any monetary gain from it. You know, we don't have to do anything for you. However, there was also another part of it from what I remember that seemed to indicate, and this is when you really dive into like the terms and conditions of Disney and social media. It seems to indicate that if you were to use the hashtag in that thread in a way that Disney did not approve of, that they could somehow take some kind of action, whether it be legal or it be simply they had the right to get Twitter to suspend your account or something like that. That's how it came across. Either way, it's not looking very good at all. All right. Glowing the Hobbit says, your thoughts on bankruptcy by CMX high-end luxury theater chains. They have 14 theaters in America. Again, they only have 14 theaters in America. So I always hate when any movie theater chain, especially even small ones, go under. But when you file for bankruptcy, it obviously could just be a restructuring. It means that they could potentially remain open in the future. But yeah, I mean, when you only have 14 theaters, I feel like it's kind of hard for that group to be able to run a lucrative business, even in general, let alone when every single thing imaginable has to shut down. So, yeah. Super Anime Gamer says, hey, what is up? What is going on, Super? Out of Step with Reality says, how's everything going? Odin, doing well. I'm doing fine, man. One of my new fans came in today, but for some reason, when I plugged it into the motherboard, I can't access it for some reason. I've downloaded a couple of different apps to try and control the fan speed because I want to try and optimize the airflow in here. I know this is kind of getting geeky, but for some reason, whenever I use any of the software programs available, it doesn't recognize it. It has a 4-pin header, and it's directly plugged into the motherboard, and they are all hybrid headers that have the I forget the expression, but the capacity to be able to alter it in some way. So hopefully I can figure it out because I have a 140 millimeter fan coming in for the top of the case, which would really help start to move some air. But once again, if I can't control it, it kind of defeats the purpose in certain aspects. Captain Dean Heiss over on D-Lab says, started watching Mark Zikri's Space Command. Robert Picardo's character son's name is Odin. Maybe you could sue. Well, yeah, see, I feel like a good comparison would be if I were to come out and say, if anyone ever uses the name Odin in a hashtag, or no, if someone ever creates another channel from this point forward that has Odin in it, and they call themselves Odin, that, oh, you can't do that. And obviously I have no legal grounds there because one, I don't even own the trademark to the name, and two, it's a name that's been around long before I came to the scene, and so it just is ridiculous in the first place. So that'd be one way of me trying to compare it. It's ridiculous, one way or the other. But out of Step with Reality, hope you are doing fine, my good sir. Thank you for being a member on the channel. I appreciate it. Bruce says, good evening, Allfather. Good evening to you, Bruce. How art thou? How art thou, Bruce? Gigamus Prime says, I think the answer to Phantom Menace riddle is man. And again, I think I would have gotten it had my head gone to the gutter. Captain Adam in the Clan says, Friday Rolly will be 11 early B-Day wishes because I know you're busy. Friday, well, happy birthday to you, Rolly. I feel like your clan has a birthday like every single week, dude. Or maybe now is the time in the year when they all have birthdays. Because at least for the past few weeks, I feel like it's been one of their birthdays. But happy birthday, Rolly. Hope you're doing fine. Gmonkey76, did you see that Doomcock is reporting that Galaxy's Edge being what it is was Kathleen Kennedy's idea? I've heard of it. I haven't dug too deep into it, but it wouldn't surprise me. Nana Reaper, who's a member, says, humans crawl in the morning, walk on 2 legs as adults walk on 3 in old age with a cane. Yes, indeed. Thank you for, once again, that super chat, The Phantom Menace. Once again, everybody, go ahead and check out the channel, The Phantom Menace. Good people. Noah's a good guy. Let us see here. Sizer Neon says, Ray Park is indeed in the credits. Star Wars Theory is doing a stream about it right now. If it weren't for the Valks, I'd be watching that. Well, Sizer Neons, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And that's pretty cool if they were able to do some kind of motion capture with Ray Park. You know, the reason why I think it's hard for me to believe is because the fighting still looks very much like a CGI fight. It doesn't have that mocap feeling to it. Now, I'm imagining what happened was that Ray Park was, you know, either choreographed himself or had someone else choreograph a fight, did all the motions that was then captured, and then they were able to do a sort of motion capture to then put it into the animation itself. But I don't think it's the way that motion capture is normally done, if I had to make a guess. Now, I could be easily wrong on that, but it just, the way the fight was laid out and the way the animation was, it just didn't seem like it was a natural fluid movement coming from the CGI character. So I believe that they did some kind of motion capture work, but not in the most traditional sense, if I had to guess. Mikey Martinez, I've never been much of a hardcore gamer either. In my friend group, a couple of them are hardcore gamers, and I'm the movie buff. Exactly. I'm the movie buff. I had a group of friends in high school where it was the same thing. I was the person that was most focused on movies. They liked movies. You know, they'd go to the big Marvel releases. They would go to the things like The Dark Knight. One of the greatest experiences I had with my friends when I was younger was going to that opening premiere of The Dark Knight. It was just a great Thursday evening. It's when the showings were still closer to midnight before they started to creep those down closer to like 7 and now as early as like 5 or 6 p.m. in some places. And it was freaking awesome. But they were definitely more into gaming than they were into movies. They were, you know, all-around pop culture people with a focus on gaming, if I had to say so, anything. All right, YouTube chat jumped on me once again. Let's see. We've got 87 people watching. Please smash that like button. It really does mean a lot. You guys freaking rock. All right, jumping back into the YouTube chat. Laura Story says, a few years ago, I met Matt Martin at Disneyland on May the 4th while wearing my Not My Luke t-shirt. Nice. And I'm just going to be totally honest here. Matt Martin. He plays ice hockey. Is that who you're talking about, Matt Martin? I'm trying to get the connection with with Star Wars. It's probably something that I should know, but you met a hockey player? You met a hockey player at Disneyland? That's awesome. Orange Hat Reviews says they can have their May the 4th as their Star Wars Day. Real fans know the real Star Wars Day is May 25th. Oh, yeah. That's a good shout right there, man. Going to those original release dates. Harwick Bentho, Ryan Johnson has a round head. Leslie Headland has a square head. Prediction, Kathleen Kennedy's next hire will have a triangular head. That would be interesting. Bruce says, South Park was way ahead of the rest of us. They made more than one evil Disney Mickey Mouse storyline in their show, and it was always wonderful. Ha ha, you're going to do it, pal. Ha ha. And then he said a lot of really, terrible things that I don't want to repeat on the channel, so... I guess the cleanest thing I can say is, come here, you little prick. It's just so funny, man. Like that whole show is just so fantastic. I wish they were making more episodes. Stephanie B is here. Hope all is well. Sorry for the rough day at work. Hopefully you can sit back and relax a little bit here in Asgard and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. All right, let me jump over to D-Live because we got some action going on over there. Captain Adam says 12 months and 21 wiener dogs. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Captain Caveman, thank you, dude. He just resubbed for 1 month and is now on a 1 month sub streak. Well, thank you very much, Captain the Caveman. Appreciate it, man. And Captain Adam just dropped 3 lemons in the chat. Thank you for dropping 3 lemons over in D-Live. I appreciate you. D-Live fam, how's it going? Hope y'all are doing well. All right, let me jump over to my YouTube peeps. Let's see, Bruce over there says, with the mic boom on your left now, it feels like your image is flipped. I mean, I theoretically could flip the image so that way it actually looks more like what you expect. However, Bruce, I love driving you crazy, and that's why, as you can see, I forget it myself that it's flipped. Yeah, you see that? It's not fully closed, and it's not gonna get fully closed, so yeah. Sorry. I actually tried playing around with the green screen today, so maybe in the future I'll be able to... My biggest issue with the green screen right now, I know very little about lighting. Literally, the way I light my streams is I have a lamp desk, like a desk lamp sitting out right here. And literally, it's a little touch thing. It has 3 different levels to it. I go to the first level. It lights half my face. It lights the other half enough for me. If I was a professional, I'd have 2 lights on both sides, getting that even lighting. But then when I try to do the green screen, it's like, man, I need even more lights now. And that just seems like way too much electricity for trying to get the green screen working, because sadly, the green screen I had is like a darker shade of green. And so the chroma key is just very odd, and I don't understand it. I don't quite understand it. Captain Dean Heist, thank you very much over on D-Lab for the 3 ice cream donations. I appreciate it very much, good sir. Member Jay Stowe says, checked out Nerdronic's live stream. I agree with him that we are way overdue for a great parody. I might have a title for it: Woke Movie and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One They Them Snowflake. Jay Stowe, I'm giving you right now the Wolf of Wall Street clap. You know which one. If you're on Twitter and you know anything about memes, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. That's the kind of clap I give to you, good sir. Love it. Gigabus Prime, Disney needs to fall like right now. If they're too big, then I say the Phantom Menace get into Jaegers from Pacific Rim to fight their massive monster. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could have like robot battles where people don't actually have to get hurt for like ownership of things? That'd be pretty cool. Like, imagine if the Phantom Menace could actually have, like, all right, we're going to have our own robot fight off against... Now, obviously, Disney's would be more, fancy and have all the special bells and whistles, but something tells me that it was a robot fight, it would be a lot more fair. Nana Reaper, who's a member, says, I feel there are going to be a bunch about... fire Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, you mean like a bunch of news stories? Yeah, I think that some people are going to take this and say it looks like they're trying to pin the blame of Galaxy's Edge's failure on Kathleen Kennedy. Just another reason why we think that she's going to get fired. Again, do I think that she should get fired? Yes, I do. Do I think that she's going to get fired? Probably not. I think that her contract is up around 2021 when Iger's was originally up. Iger, of course, stepped down from being CEO and is now back in the game. He's not CEO anymore, but he still obviously holds a lot of the power in Disney right now because he is trying to, basically, he grabbed control from Bob Chapek in certain aspects to start making more decisions in a more direct way. And I think that Kathleen Kennedy is going to stay on as long as Iger is on because I think Iger is still protecting her. I don't know why, but again, who knows? However, with all of those things being said, I firmly believe that in 2021, she will either step down or will take a position elsewhere, retire, whatever. But I think that we will, unfortunately, be stuck with her. Doesn't make any sense. Using common sense, if this was anyone else in any other job, the amount of failures that she's had, anyone else would have lost their job. But obviously, she's been in Hollywood for so long. She has friends in high places. She's got people that are out there willing to protect her. And I think that that is what has led to just a lot of this nonsense that's been going on. So yeah, I think that a lot of people will start covering that again. But just like earlier when I thought, we all thought Kathleen Kennedy was going to get fired. Do we think that she should get fired? Yes. Will she get fired? Most likely not, if I had to make a guesstimation. Heimdall, thank you for letting me know how to contact me. If you are in YouTube, and if you are in the chat over there and you have a comment or a question, make sure you type Odin question, all one word, Odin question, if you have a comment or question. If you don't, I won't see it. If you type Odin question, it'll highlight orange on my screen, and then I'll say, oh, this person's trying to get my attention. If you don't feel like doing that, you can become a member on the YouTube channel, and I'll read your comment automatically. It's one of the perks of being a member. Alex McCarthy says, on May the 4th, we duck Fisney. Damn, son. Well, that's some pretty intense language there, sir. Gigas Prime says, if your wife says she sees a ghost in your new house, listen to her and run away. Run far, far away. Women can see ghosts more easily than us men, so listen to her. Well, I don't really believe in the concept of ghosts, just going to be perfectly honest about that. I am a theology teacher. For those that are new to the channel, I'm a theology teacher at a Catholic high school, and so my understanding of ghosts is that it actually, if there is anything that cannot be explained, most things, I would argue, could easily be explained away. Using logic and reason. However, if anything could not be explained away and it has the seemingness of a ghost, it most likely is a demonic presence, which doesn't make it any much better. In some cases, it makes it even scarier. However, the whole concept of ghosts in general, I don't personally accept. So she could see something, but if she's seeing something and she says it's a ghost, it's probably a demon, and either we need to get the house exorcised or we need to get her exorcised. And not exercise, exorcise. JJ, there's your fun theology moment of the day. JJ says, typically you have to use the software that comes with the motherboard. Also, you should have a section in the BIOS to control it. It's possible the port you are using is for a water pump. It shouldn't be, because all of the fan headers are actually geared towards pumps. They're all hybrid headers. So again, the type of motherboard I had, I checked the instruction manual. I checked it online too. All of the headers are these hybrid headers where they can all of them could run. They all have 4 pins for one, and they can all run, from everything that I read, they can all run the water. They could run a water cooler, water pump. I have that plugged into my CPU header for my liquid AIO. And then all the other fan headers, though, are 4 pins that have those hybrid capabilities. So I've thought about jumping into the BIOS, but I always get worried when I jump into the BIOS. I don't know why. I wish there was a way for me to access it without having to turn my computer off. I think there are ways. I just don't really know them. But JJ, always great for your help, man. Bruce says, if you're having issues with your computer functions, just give it a good smack on the side. It works every time. And there art well, good sir. No, I'm not going to do that, because the channel put a lot into this PC, and hitting it could easily dislodge something, could easily, especially since the way that my PC is set up, I don't have anything really holding my my hard drive in place, and that has a lot of information on there. I have a lot of stuff backed up in other places, but still a lot of stuff on there that I really wouldn't like to lose anytime soon. It's a WD black drive, which means it should be fine. Again, it's only been in use for about a year or so, but a smack could easily, disrupt the, because, if anyone knows how hard drives work, it could be a bad time. Let's see here. JJ says, let me know the motherboard you have and I can check out the manual. It's a gigabyte board. I know that much. And other than that, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now. Let's see. Tina says, Clownfish TV ran a video about KK getting Bob to switch over to Disney sequel era. Kathleen Kennedy told him they didn't want the old fans. They wanted the future fans Disney Star Wars would bring in. Yeah, that sounds like something that she would say. And so if that is indeed true, then yeah, give us even more reason not only to be angry with her as fans, but also for corporate people to say, yeah, why do you have a job? Why do we pay you? Why do we pay you anything at all? It doesn't make any sense. Why should we be paying you at all? Rosetta Allen super chat a few minutes ago. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Says, Kennedy is the bane to intelligent entertainment. This is very true. She does not seem to understand entertainment, even though she's been in the business for such a long time. But maybe it's that she just sees the dollar signs. So she doesn't care about creativity. She doesn't care about things making sense. She doesn't care about fans being happy. She has this weird understanding that it's not the fans that bring in the money. It's Disney that brings in the money. It's the corporation that brings in the money. It doesn't matter what the content is. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if the fans are happy, because as long as Disney's labels on it, it's as good as gold. And then, of course, she made Solo a Star Wars story, and that lost like $100 million to the box office. And then she made The Rise of Skywalker, which is arguably one of the worst Star Wars films and one of the worst films to be made last year. So, yeah. Alrighty, let me go ahead and find out where I left off in the chat. Slicer Neon says, I believe the lady for Ahsoka's mocap is also the armorer from The Mandalorian. She brutalized those stormtroopers merciless. Very cool. Tina says, context Galaxy's Edge, she called the old Star Wars fans 50-somethings. That's hot coming from a woman who is 67 years old, per Critical Drinker. Yeah, it is, and I hate whenever they try and say, oh yeah, it's just the 50-somethings that are fans of the old Star Wars. It's like there are people ranging from the age of Darth Barbie all the way to the age of Jeremy. Which is a very wide range. Sorry, I had to throw some shade, but Let's see here. Anyway, Hardwick says one of the people who worked on creating Galaxy's Edge said it was going to be Mos Eisley, but Kathleen Kennedy said that old Star Wars only appealed to middle-aged men, so they could focus on future Star Wars, and look how it worked out for them. 70B says, notice me, senpai, you're so needy. I've already shouted you out. Lord, did you not hear me say I hope that things are better now? Because I heard you had a bad day at work. Rosetta Allen, who's a member on the channel, and also one of my chosen Valhalla, says, I hope you are feeling amazing, Odin. Well, thank you, Rosetta. Hope you are feeling better as well. Bruce says, I trimmed my beard and mustache today. How dare you? The lockdown's not over. What do you think this is? Freedom? What's that? I would know what freedom is. Micah Martinez, The Empire Strikes Back and The Shining are turning 40 years old this year. You're right. Yeah, because 1980. Damn, son. And speaking of both, I have both of those movies. I have the 4K edition of The Shining. That's one of my newer pickups. And I have like 3 different versions of Empire because I've got the changed crap version of Empire that George Lucas did after those stupid special editions. And he's just done away, it seems, with all of the original prints. Luckily, fans found the original prints. So that's why I have I have Project 4K. It's called Project 4K 80, which is, again, Empire Strikes Back using an original print. I think it's an original 35mm print that has been redone and remade and just made to look very beautiful. And I think that's the only one that hasn't been finished yet, though. So I have what's called the Grindhouse edition, which means that it's the original 35mm print with no color correction, no cleaning up, no noise correction or anything like that. But it's still beautiful because you're like, man, this is an original print and I'm watching it. It's like history. And then I also have the Harmy's Despecialized edition as well. And what Harmy did is even cooler, I think, because it's awesome to do to have the 35mm print, have that original transfer done at 4K and then to, clean it up in post. But what Harmy did was he took versions of several different movies and then combined them all together into this Frankenstein monster, and it's the original movie. And it looks great. It looks beautiful. So yeah, man, it's really cool. 40 years for 2 great movies. Laura Storia says, for context, Matt Martin of the infamous Star Wars Story Group. Okay. I don't have all their names mentioned because, I don't really see them as important people. That Matt Martin. Not the hockey player. That's upsetting. I bet you wish it had been the hockey player instead. Michael Martinez, are you going to be purchasing HBO Max in May? I already have HBO now. And so from what I've been told, that's going to become HBO Max. And so, yes. Rosetta Allen, driving Bruce mad is an art form. Never stop doing it. Oh, it's fun. Hologram Nunchuck, is the new house haunted? No, it is not. It's not possessed either. Tina says, welcome to the chat. Thank you very much for welcoming him to the chat. And again, if you have a comment or question, type Odin question, all one word, on YouTube. Let me jump over to my DLive people and make sure everyone is okay over there. Let's see. Tekken King, thank you very much for the follow over on DLive. I appreciate that very much, good sir. Let's see if anyone's trying to contact me. Oh, it looks like he was muted. All right, so I take back that welcome. You ass. Must have been an ass because no one else would have been muted. Captain High says, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, some might say. And then Phonemo says, the house isn't haunted or possessed. Sounds boring, but it's good for me. And then Will Gentry says, Tekking was talking nonsense, so he got muted. Good. He just probably deserved to get muted. So thank y'all very much. Thank you to my mods over on DLive. Y'all always keep the chat nice and crisp, and I love it. So thank you, DLive fam. I appreciate it. All right, back over to YouTube. Tina says, Odin keeps freezing on me. Am I freezing for anyone else? Please let me know. I am using a new Wi-Fi card, so I'm not hardlined in like I was at the old place. So please let me know if there are any stream issues. Other than the audio at the very beginning, which was my fault, please keep me posted. Bruce says, don't bring me down, Bruce. Don't bring me down, Bruce. I caught that reference. It's one of the few songs that I've actually gotten. Please make sure you smash that like button while I take that sip of a beverage. We got 105 people. This is the first time we've broken 100 in a while, it seems. So thank y'all for being here. Smash that like button. I appreciate it immensely. Hashtag DuckFisney. They are ludicrous and full of themselves. Right now, I'm reading the chat. Nano Reaper says, a bunch of tweets on May the 4th on the Disney tweet about Fire Kathleen Kennedy on that thread. Yes, Nano Reaper. I would say that the Phantom Menace has a great opportunity on their hands to take advantage of the stupidity of especially the Disney Plus Twitter account to post a lot of fun things to that Twitter account. Hardwick says, having now seen all of Agent Carter, do you agree that Bridget Regan would make a great Catwoman or Cheetah? I don't know actresses' names. So she's the one that plays the Russian spy, right? Bridget Regan? She played the Russian spy in the show. Yeah, man. She is I don't know how many of her own stunts she did, but yeah, she had a great presence about her. I think that she's a great actress. And I think that if she even has some skill at doing at least some of her own stunts, that, yeah, she would be a great choice. Definitely a hell of a lot, for Cheetah, a hell of a lot better than Kristen Wiig. I still don't quite get that casting. It bothers me a lot. And then even for Catwoman, like, oh my goodness, Zoe Kravitz. Again, I think Zoe Kravitz has shown potential in some things, but no. Like, to me, like, I hear Robert Pattinson, and I'm like, okay, I've seen that dude act. I've seen that dude in The Lighthouse, okay? And if you can get through The Lighthouse and you can get through the craziness of the story, you can get a very awesome performance from Pattinson. He's done a lot of other films, too, where he really just shows that he's got a lot of chops. Zoe Kravitz, I don't think has really done that. I know for a fact that Kristen Wiig has not done that either. So, yes, I think that Bridget Regan would be better than both of those people. However, she's not a big name. And unfortunately, that's the name of the game in a lot of places. Let us see. All right, we got some action over on the YouTube. Oh, man, a lot of things going on over there right now. Captain Adam says, droppin' foo. Droppin' foo? Not cool. Captain says, not freezing, but as you know, I am on a Mac. Yes, this is true. Captain Peabody says, you have been freezing about that, but that is normal for my internet. Okay. Will Gentry says, you did freeze once for me, but I don't know if it was on my end or yours, because it was only on my YouTube stream, not here. All right, that's interesting. I always have issues with YouTube, I feel, over anything else. Captain Peabody says, only froze on YouTube, not on DLive. That makes sense, because YouTube sucks. Phonemo, respect the Whammon, learn their names. Hell no. Captain Mr. Roy, YouTube is freezing. DLive has been fine. All right, so that tells me it's not my computer, but rather it's YouTube being silly. So again, sorry if we've been freezing. It says 105 people watching here in my little thing, so it must not be hurting that many people. So, Captain Adam says, my YouTube stream has not froze, but again, iMac, screw you. And then he says he was dropping an FU. Oh, the person that was trolling? That makes sense. I'm a very hated man. All right, back over to YouTube. Gigas Prime. I wonder, does Kathleen Kennedy have father issues or need to do what she does to Star Wars because her father shot down her dreams of doing a manly job like racing, like race car driving? Well, I will not ever expect to be able to read the mind or to be able to do the job of a psychiatrist, so I will leave that to the professionals. Mega Martinez, when theaters reopen, I hope there are more Thursday midnight screenings since I've always wanted to go to one. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of mixed on it because it was very special when they had it. However, if I can go see a movie at 7 instead, I'm seeing the movie at 7 because I got a day job. So I understand why they started to do that, and I actually like that they started to do that. And I feel like now that they have it, midnights really aren't as special as they used to be. Some people still try and go to the later showings, but from what I follow, it seems that a lot of movies don't really have midnight showings anymore. Maybe like 10:30, 11, I guess if it's a major release, they'll go into 2. I've seen some movies go even into like 3 in the morning, when it was that crazy. I think that trying to think. I think one of the Avengers films, if not the first Avengers film, had something like that where so many screens were sold out they had to open up more show times like to crazy hours of the day. But yeah, I just can't wait for theaters to reopen. That's what I want. Rosetta Allen says, always Duck Fisney. Damn right. Boss Level says, do you think that if Disney falls, there will be a gap in the market for smaller Western animation companies to arise? So I'm assuming you mean Western Hemisphere, because I'm like, smaller Western? Why would we have more Westerns? But I see what you mean there. You know what? There obviously would be a gap, because think about how Disney owns the vast majority of the box office. When it comes to films making money, it's usually Disney films at the top, in the top 5, top 10. Like almost always, they are in every single slot with a few exceptions. And so there's definitely something that there definitely would be a gap. There's no question about that. And so I think that, especially if they're smaller, you would have several companies that could easily take its place. What would be really cool is if somehow Disney went under and then they decided instead what we're going to do is we're going to, like, a company basically came out of the chaos of that as like original OG Disney. Like original OG Disney. All right, you're done, man. The whole, oh, I need help. Nope, you're done. I hate when D-Live trolls come in. It just makes it very, very sad. I feel like we have more D-Live trolls ever. I think we always have more D-Live trolls in a single stream than we do in the entirety of a year on YouTube. Yes, it was Phonemo. I was on top of it. Bruce says, why are they willing to protect Kennedy? Sex possibly? It would explain how someone like her rose so high just saying what people are stepping around. No, again, I think that people are definitely trying to say that. I wouldn't, personally. I would say it probably has more to do with her husband, because her husband, was Rob Marshall, is a very well-known producer in Hollywood. So it seems very likely that she was riding the coattails of him, and that's how she got into her position of power, and that's why she has strong friends and allies. I wouldn't go so far to say that. That's just not what I do. I don't really project that on people. Rosetta says, Odin is in a more dark room that throws me off more than angles. I hope it's not affecting you too much, because I know that sometimes light can be an issue. 16-bit mascot, I see you in the chat. And Emperor Billy Ritchie, what's going on? Hardwick says, the reason Agent Carter got canceled was low ratings combined with a high budget. There were period sets and costumes affected by ILM, which was nearly unheard of for network TV. Yeah, and I heard that, and I know that it went from having like 4 million to 2 million. But I know other shows that had to have had less than 2 million people watching and yet still continued on. Now, one could argue, yeah, but the budgets are different. That being said, I think that if they had really wanted the show to continue, they could have kept on making it. But I think that basically, had the show been woke, it probably would have continued in some form or fashion. But luckily it wasn't, and I think that's the reason why it got canceled, sadly. Soul Assassin, duct tape solves everything. Not everything. Brian Kim, have you heard of a book called The Trojan Mouse? It covers how Disney has afflicted people with SJW values upon children. By the way, hashtag DuckFisney, hashtag Hail Odin, hashtag Hail Doomcock. Yes, indeed, and praise to all of those things. I have not heard of that book. However, it sounds very interesting. I would be interested to see if Tina has ever either read it or heard of it, because she always has the insights when it comes to that kind of stuff. Bruce says, context, smacking the computer. Well, I did get my electronics degree in the 1980s. Yes, that's when times were different. Micah Martinez, I'm thinking about purchasing HBO Max just because of all the content they are putting out. Yeah, and to be putting on it. Yeah, I agree. I think that HBO Max has the benefit of having a large, rich library and not so much on having new, instant, original content right away. HBO had been around for a long time. They've been able to, build up their libraries and their servers. So I think it's going to be an easier transition for them really getting into the streaming wars, because they've already had a streaming service for a very long time now. But now it's going to be one that's basically strictly streaming, because HBO Now, HBO Go have been just variations of their actual channel HBO. And so now they'll have their very own streaming service, exclusive content to the streaming service, exclusive movies and television shows as well. And since they own a lot of the content, it's probably not going to be moving around like it normally would on a Netflix or even on a regular HBO. And yeah, it should be fun. And there's, again, a lot of content that's going to be on there. It's going to be fun and exciting. Ever since, I always forget. I think JJ was the one that got me onto it. Yeah, he was. About the Play On app, and basically what Play On allows you to do is it is like a DVR for streaming services. I've been having, and I don't know, JJ, if you can answer this, I've been having some issues with Netflix because sometimes I can record series on Netflix, but then other times it just stops and then it fails recording several episodes. And then when I try to get it back, even though the login is still there and it's still active, it won't let me do it for some reason. So right now I'm actually recording some Hulu stuff, and it's actually Rick and Morty. I've never watched Rick and Morty, but this will make it more easy for me to watch it at some point in the future, because I know a lot of people have been recommending it. All right, so chat, of course, is going to jump on me once again. All right, so let us see what is going on here. So many comments. If you're one of those persons, because I see a few people who post like 1,000 things. If you're someone that posts 1,000 comments a stream, try and simmer down a little bit, because we have a lot more people here than normal, and I want to make sure I can get to every person's comment. So again, if you are a person, unless you're a member, if you're a member, you can ask as many things as you want, because it's, again, kind of one of the perks of it. However, if you're not a member, please, if you could just watch the number of comments, that would be great. Super says, after this fiasco with the Russian doll creator, think Iger and KK's relationship will change. He's supposed to be real angry right now. Think their relationship will change. It really depends, one, if that news is true. Again, we really don't have all the details on how all of that news came out, if the Bobs are really angry. Again, it's been reported as such, but we don't really know one way or the other. So, it's something that I think will definitely be, if it is true, it's going to affect their relationship easily. You can give us Prime, but you can technically believe in ghosts alongside your faith. A ghost is just a soul that is homeless and didn't go to heaven or hell. Sort of fits with your beliefs. No, it doesn't, actually. So just a correction there. With Catholicism, it does not fit at all with that. So we believe that when you die, the soul separates from the body, and you're either heaven, hell, or purgatory. There is no roaming the earth. So that is not a part of Catholic belief. So no, there is no place for that in my faith, actually. Superman Gamer, I am by no means an expert, but in what world is deliberately leaving legacy fans behind a good business practice? What the what? Yeah, it's not a good practice. You're right, man. It's not a good practice at all. And I really hope that they start losing lots of money like they already are, not because of the virus, but because people stop buying their crap. If people stop buying their crap, then once all of this virus stuff goes away, they'll realize, oh, we're in trouble. Those legacy fans would have gotten us through this. Those legacy fans would have been the ones to give us as much support as possible. But because you left those legacy fans in the dirt, and they're the ones that likely have money right now, more so than the people that you've been trying to go after and failing miserably at, imagine where you could be right now instead. Just saying. Bruce says, old fans, there were a lot of little kids at the theater midnight night Return of the Jedi premiere. Yeah, exactly. Hardwick, ABC wanted to keep Haley Atwell after Agent Carter, so they put her in Conviction, an investigative drama series that copied Shonda Rhimes' style. It didn't even last a full season. Yeah, I saw an image from it, and I'm like, but that's not the same thing. Just because you have the same actress does not mean that you're going to be able to get away with it. Going to Hobbit says, remastered Top Gun is coming to 4K physical media. I saw that. Okay, this already sounds like it's going to be a... So to answer the question, the person just muted, yes, it is. However, if you start off your comment like that, it tells me that you're about to go off on a random tirade, and it's not a safe place for that. So thank you for the follow, though. I appreciate that. But yeah, Top Gun coming to 4K media. It's something that I might want to pick up at some point in the future, but I already own it on Blu-ray, and I haven't heard a lot about how good this transfer is. I imagine it's pretty good, because it's going to be a 4K transfer of the 35mm. I think it was on 35mm. I could be wrong. Could be a larger print size. It could be 70mm for all I know. However, it's going to be a high-quality print no matter what, and so that's something that I might pick up down the road. By the way, as I was going through my Blu-ray collection, I realized I had some duplicates, so that means I have some movies to give away in the future. I'm not really in a position right now to start doing giveaways now, but in the month of May, It's gonna be May. Once May starts, that's when I can start doing some more physical media giveaways because I have got some duplicates now to give away. So that should be a fun time. Happy Dinosaur 8000. I'm 20 years old and I love Star Wars. Boom. I'm 30. I'm 31. Yeah, 31. Almost forgot my age for a second. I'm 31. And gosh, time. And I love Star Wars as well. And there are people on this channel that are 40, 50, 60, or close to it, that are also huge fans of Star Wars. Star Wars is not something that is only popular with certain age demographics. Because guess what? You know what all of us have in common? Obviously, it's not our age, but all of us have one thing in common, and it's that we love OG Star Wars. All right. Let me jump over to DLive and send some love to some people. Let's see here. What is going on? Let's see. Captain Adam says, it gives us something to do while listening to you. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Captain says, Adam says, be very, very quiet. We're hunting trolls. Will Gentry, it's because DLive is new, so it's more like the Wild West of the internet. YouTube has been around for years, so everyone there is wise to their tricks, and the trolls know they won't work on YouTube anymore. That is very true. Except, you say that, but then YouTube is the one that has the most issue streaming stuff in comparison to DLive. Captain High says, Kathleen Kennedy getting her power from a man. That can never happen. No, it cannot. No, it cannot. But guess what? It did. Captain Mr. Roy says, I have the same issue with Plan. Okay, glad to hear I'm not the only one. So it sounds like it's a Netflix exclusive issue because I don't think I've had the same issues with HBO or with Hulu. So, yeah. Glad to hear that. At least we're in it together. And to be honest, with the stuff that I've gotten, the $30 or so I spent on it, it's already been well worth it. Captain Adam in the clan says, on May 4th, Odin can do giveaways. Yes. What? Let's see. May the 4th. May the 4th is a Monday this year, so I don't know if maybe I'll stream, but something tells me that there are going to be so many channels streaming on Monday, channels that I'm fans of and friends with. I don't know if I'd want to go up against them. Camden Height says, Haley Atwell used an American accent and conviction, totally not Agent Carter. Yeah, and it's so funny because she does a good American accent. She used it several times in Agent Carter, and I was always like, I like this actress. She's so good. Let's see. Captain Darkstar 57 says, I have several digital movies to send you. Well, thank you very much, good sir. I appreciate that. Definitely will be using those for future giveaways. I do need to do at least maybe one or two more giveaways for the month of April on Patreon and Subscribestar. Remember, if you're a Patreon member at $5 and up, you have access to giveaways. However, Patreon does not allow direct giveaways on the Patreon service. So you have to be a member of the Discord server, and then I give you a title that allows you access to the giveaway channel. I send an email out in a message whenever it's a new month. So just if you have not received that and you're a $5 up backer, just message me on Patreon and I'll get you set up with that. That way you have access to the streaming, to the giveaway channel. Captain Adams says, Kathleen Kennedy, the greatest coffee getter ever. Will Gentry, YouTube does have more issue streaming stuff, but that's not because it's old. It's because it's more because it's just useless. Yeah, you're right. It is absolutely just useless. I think it actually has something to do with the fact that they specialize in hosting content, not necessarily in streaming. Like they came later to the game for streaming than they did for anything else. And so it kind of makes sense that they would not have as much expertise in it. However, multi-billion-dollar corporation and you can't get streaming to work consistently, that's kind of silly. But thank y'all so much. Y'all are awesome. Captain K, man, thank you for applauding. I don't know who you're applauding, but thank you. Tina says, 70 deserves to be needy. Maybe. Rosetta Allen says, I do my own haircuts and dyes. Lockdown, don't me, crap to my hair. Brian Kim, have you ever seen The Expanse? I think you'd love it. I've seen the first 4 episodes or so. I like it. It is definitely a slow burn. So I feel like I need to be in the right mood to watch the show. Because if I try and watch like several episodes in a row, I end up starting to fall asleep. Oh, I didn't know the little zombie dude was even still a thing, but out of step with reality, it says that that you upped it to $5 or because I thought you were already a member. But thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Message me over on Patreon. I'll get you set up on the Discord server, man. If you're on Subscribestar, by the way, I can do giveaways directly over on Subscribestar. So you have nothing to worry about over there. Gigamus Prime of the Phantom Menace. If the Phantom Menace had Jaegers, I'd just use my Jaeger and step on Kathleen Kennedy like the cockroach she is. Damn. Well, I wouldn't do that because that's murder. I know that you meant that I hope that you meant that in a hyperbolic way. But that's murder. I would never do that. If I could step on a Disney robot, then yes, I would do that. Soul Assassin, they're gonna lift the lockdown soon in Texas, but the haircut places are still closed. WTF. Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I need to get a haircut myself. I want to get like a nice buzz cut going. Maybe trim this just a little bit to make it look nice. Still have the beard, of course, because the beard is essential. Super Anime Gamer, it's the same approach they have to Marvel Comics. It's ridiculous. Like it or not, legacy fans are the people that love your stuff and buy your stuff, and you should respect them. They're also the ones that will buy your stuff over and over again. They don't need to have just one copy of your stuff. If you give them a new copy of your movie, like imagine if Disney would have focused on original fans. You know what we probably would have gotten by now? An original Star Wars cut. Do you know how many units you would have sold if you told fans, we have the originals. We have the unaltered editions in 4K glory. I can tell you right now, you have probably at least 20 people watching this stream that would buy it immediately. Had you gone that route, but you didn't go that route. If you were to do that now, some people on the stream might buy it to have access to it, but we've gotten to the point now where so many other people have done it just as well as you ever could that one, there's no need to get it from you, and two, you've shown so much disrespect towards the fans. If you were to say, oh, here's an olive branch, I'd say, no, patooey, spit on you, screw you. I don't believe you for a second. That is what I say to you. That is what I say to you, good sir. Will Gentry over on DLive says, it probably has a lot to do with how much traffic is on YouTube, too. Yeah, that could be it. But again, multi-billion-dollar corporation should be able to handle that. Just my thought, though. Just my thought. Because they had issues before the lockdown when more people were online streaming. Just going to say. Super says, it's the same approach. Okay, got that. Hardwick says, if you can accept the primitive effects, the 1930s Flash Gordon series are a lot of fun. The casting was spot on for Brian, Buster Crabbe, and Charles Middleton are Flash and Ming. Yeah, I 1930s Flash Gordon, I don't know if I could handle that. As you said, primitive effects, I don't think I could, but I do love the movie. The movie's fantastic. Flash. Forever Sci-Fi says, you should hang a picture in front of you at an angle so that it reflects behind you crooked. Well, I think I'm going to have a crooked picture no matter what because it's probably going to mess with Bruce's mind. Tina Bojan says, my sons, 18 and 20, have had a beard growing contest going on since early March. After 2 months, they are somewhere between Charles Manson and a Taliban soldier. Damn, after only 2 months? Because I haven't gotten my beard trimmed since all this stuff started, and yeah, mine doesn't grow that fast. It might seem like it does, but oh, damn. That's freaking awesome. Tina says, and I just got the YouTube notification for your chat. It's only 40 minutes late. We got 112 people watching tonight, though, so please smash that like button. It really does help out a lot. Gigamus Prime says, did you know Gary of Nerdrotic's house is haunted? He said it on live stream with Doomcock. He saw a ghost cat. I didn't see that stream, but I assume he said it. Brian Kim, do Kathleen Kennedy and Marvel do not understand when you put out quality products, the fans will share their passion to multiple fans and multiply fans tenfold and bring in money 100-fold? Hashtag Duck Disney. They don't understand. As I said before, if they were to have respected the OG fans from the beginning and given them solid content, not only would they have kept making money with their new movies, but then also you could have released films that have been out now for years and made a killing on it. As I said, imagine a 4K release or even a Blu-ray release of OG Star Wars. Before all the cuts, before all the Han doesn't shoot first anymore nonsense, right? Imagine all that stuff out because you have the original print given to you by Disney. They could have made a killing, and that movie already came out. So you do that. You keep making money with new movies because you have not only the old fans coming in to say, this is my Star Wars still, but then you also have them bringing their kids, their families, saying, This is your Star Wars now. But they couldn't do that. They couldn't bridge the gap. And they ended up isolating so many people that now there's not a whole lot left. JJ says, you are lagging and stuttering. Mine's also freezing. Well, very sorry about that. I can check one thing to see if it's YouTube or if it's me, because Restream usually will tell me if I've had any dropped frames. Let's see here. All right, it does seem to be stuttering a little bit in this, but it's not really a good metric because it's currently being shown in different locations right now. So sorry if that is happening, but we still do have 107 people here watching, so it can't be terrible for everybody. It must be only certain people. But again, sorry that people are having some lagging issues. Gravel Digger says, froze a few times now, but not in the last 10 minutes. Glad to hear it. Megan Martinez, for me, The Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie, even worse than Attack of the Clones and Last Jedi. I went in with low expectations and I was still disappointed. Yeah, Megan Martinez, I think you're onto something there, man, because I feel the same way, where I think Attack of the Clones has really bad dialogue. I think that, and of course, I don't think the CGI has aged very well. The Last Jedi broke Star Wars fandom and broke Star Wars. But I think Rise of Skywalker is objectively a worse film because it's just such garbage. Like, truly, if you think about it for a second and you go into the details of the story, and even from the opening crawl, it's like, oh my goodness, this thing is horrible. So, yeah. Phantom Menace says, why did you move anyway? Because we were renting the other place. So we needed to own a house, and the other house didn't have enough places, which is why we were only renting it. So, yeah. Brian Kim, why not bring up the opportunity to spam Disney Plus' account on Friday Night Tights? I left my Solo lost money and the platonic Raylo kiss comment. Pretty sure it's deleted now by that. I guarantee you that we're going to be talking about that on Friday Night Tights, and something tells me that that probably will come up. So, Neons, I wish I had an Aunt Edna, so when she visited, I could say, it's Aunt Ed. And everyone would go, it's haunted? Oh, you say aunt. Aunt Ed. It's Aunt Ed. I say aunt. I say Aunt Ed. Sorry about that. Gigamus, I wish they could bring Ben Affleck back as Batman in the DCU so they could cast Kate Beckinsale as Catwoman. I don't. I wasn't a huge fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. He could have been great, and I still would have loved to have seen him direct a Batman film, but yeah, his version of Batman in the DCU just did not, I don't think it was very good. Michael Martinez, I recommend watching a movie called Good Time. Robert Pattinson is great in it, and it's a really good movie as well. I've heard about that, and the only reason why I'm kind of holding off on it is because it's done by the same, I think it's the Safdie brothers, and they also did Uncut Gems, and I did not like Uncut Gems. I don't like that style. Rosetta Allen says, YouTube sucks. They really, really suck. YouTube sucks. Yes, they do. Gigamus Prime, you froze up so much I thought you had Iceman over there and he was sneezing. Jumping over to D-Live. Let us see what's going on. What's going on over in D-Live land? Let's see. Will Gentry says, oh, I had bought the unaltered 4K in a heartbeat, and a lot of people would. He also says, yeah, don't get me wrong, YouTube is slacking big time. Yes, they are indeed. Captain Peabody says, well, being a god and living for thousands of years, your beard growth is bound to slow down. And then Captain Peabody says, all good here, and I have the worst internet. Yeah, if Peabody is having a decent stream, and he has upside down internet, then it must be individual persons and individual servers. Yeah, 744 in the chat. It's 809 where I am. So, yeah, we're about 20 plus minutes behind. Easy. Hologram Nunchuck says, YouTube sucks. Yes. Sasa Neon's stream has been freezing ever since the Cubs won the World Series. YouTube sucks. Phantom Manise, did you see the IP series on Netflix? It's loosely based on the man who trained Bruce Lee, and it's mostly in Chinese. I actually own the, was it the Ip Man? Is it Ip Man or IP Man? I think it's Ip Man. And I have the trilogy. I think they released a fourth film in the franchise. I've not seen any of them, but I do own 3. Jace Doe says, mine has froze a couple times, hasn't since the second time for a while. Curious if you got my comment about a parody movie. I did. And I commented on it. Gigamus Prime, I bet if a kaiju from Pacific Rim saw Kathleen Kennedy, he'd call her mama and try to hug her. Michael Martinez, I understand what you're saying about midnight shows. I always enjoyed going to a 7 p.m. showing on Thursday night. Plus, you can get out of the movie early and talk about it. And exactly, the films that you would normally go to a midnight for almost always led to conversations in the parking lot. I cannot tell you how many late night conversations in the parking lot after seeing an awesome movie I had with my friends. So I'd much rather be able to do that and not have to worry about getting no sleep. I mean, and it felt like it was worth it at the time, but nowadays, no chance. Let's see. Tina says, I need help. I have a house I need to sell. Can you get in touch with EVS and Gary and Jeremy to help? I can't believe that one dude did that to me, man. That was so ridiculous. And speaking of that, today, actually, on Reddit, someone said, are you with Geeks and Gamers? I'm like, yes. I need to talk to Jeremy. Okay, then you can message him on Twitter. Do you have his number? And I'm like, bye. And then he said sorry like 3 different times. He's like, I don't have Twitter. It's like, that's not my problem. You contacted me to get to Jeremy. I'm not a messenger. All right? I'm not the messenger. That's happened to me a few times, actually, because I respond to people. I try to be as good as I can responding to emails and to Twitter comments, because luckily it's a manageable thing for me to do. But what I hate is when people contact me through Twitter because they want to get in contact with someone else. Can you send this to so-and-so? Can you do this? And I'm like, no. You send it to, it's like, oh, but he'll never read it. Yeah, okay. It's not my job. It's not my job. I'm not an errand boy. I do not. Bruce says, I didn't know about the husband. Soul Assassin Midnight Showings. I got that one already. Boss Level, do you think Disney will ever try 2D animation again? When I say 2D animation, I mean the actually give a crap kind and not the low frame rate blur effect overused kind of thing. Yeah, I wish they did. There are still some studios out there that are making some 2D animation content, and it's looking pretty good. Obviously, Studio Ghibli is a major impact on that. There's a studio that has, since Studio Ghibli went down, I think Studio Ghibli is coming back to do a couple more movies, but there's another studio that came out of them, and there's a couple, actually. One did a film called Your Name. Fantastic anime, by the way. If you've never seen Your Name, it's an amazing film. I freaking love it. And there's still quality content. Do I think Disney's going to go back? Probably not, sadly. I wish they would, but they've pretty much fully embraced the 3D animation style, and I don't like it. It's getting boring. I think I mentioned that in my review of Onward. I feel like they've reached the peak of what they can do with 3D animation, and now it just looks boring. With 2D animation, there was never a peak, because you could do so much with the colors, you could do so much with the style, that it always felt like there could be something new. Sadly, I don't think the same thing is true of 3D. Could be wrong, but that's just my thought. Let's see. Bruce says, place a poster in front of you and it will reflect off the closet door and it looks behind you. Wait, I already said that. Bruce, wait, what? I'm so very confused. Tina says, I completely missed what Odin just asked. If it's seen context, Tina may have seen something. Yes, it was a book about, I think it was called The Trojan Mouse. It's called The Trojan Mouse. It's a book someone talked about and asked about, and it's all about Disney and how they've tried to infiltrate our kids and such. J. Are they still doing a black female James Bond to replace Daniel Craig in No Time to Die? Well, just to clarify that, I think the news is I think the clarification is that there will be a 007 agent, which doesn't make any sense because 007 is a code name for one specific person, James Bond. All right? So she's not going to be James Bond. So therefore she cannot be 007. But I think that they're going to try and make her at the very least a 00 agent, which has happened before. We had 006, and I think there's probably been other films that have, I'm not an expert on the James Bond franchise, but it seems like from the reports that we got, they were trying to make it like she's 007 for a little bit, which doesn't make any sense, which again is ridiculous. Harwick says, Marvel offered Black Widow to Emily Blunt, but she turned it down. Then they offered her Peggy Carter, which she also turned down, saying that girlfriend roles are usually thankless. That's sad because both roles I think are great. Someone is trolling with Disney. Disney is the greatest to ever do it. Oh, Disney's so good. We have a Disney fanboy in the chat. It's great. I bet they about to say Tina and Steph would never block or mute somebody for simply saying positive Disney things. you probably were being a complete asshat, which makes sense. All right, the chat jumped on me again on YouTube, and it looks like some comments may have been skipped. Only about 4 minutes worth, so don't just post random things. I'm at 7:50 in the chat. It's 8:15 where I am. I do need to, because let's see, where are we on time? Hour 15. So we got about 15 more minutes or so. Let me jump back over into D-Live for a second, since it's a little bit more manageable over there. Captain Adam says Ben Affleck in Batman Beyond as Old Man Bruce. That would work. That I think would work. Captain Adam, Odin the Messenger. No, not true. Captain Adam, I contact you on Twitter Discord just to talk to you. I know you do. You're not the one I'm talking about. Will Gentry, Tim Pool mentioned that. He said he's done tons of people has had tons of people contact him asking if he could hook them up with Joe Rogan. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. Odin is tongue-tied tonight. I'm always tongue-tied, man. Will Gentry, Sean Bean was 005 in GoldenEye. What? No, he wasn't. He was 006. Don't question me on that. He was 006. Google it yourself, man. It says here, Alec Trevelyan 006. Boom. Boom, baby. Boom, Will. I'm not often right on these things when it comes to franchises I'm not an expert on, but I know enough. So take that. He was 006. I was right. And I want you to say that in the chat. Cam Darkstar says the t-shirts could be ready in less than 2 weeks. Just got off the phone with them. Boom, dude. I think now would be definitely the time to do it, man. For sure. Ooh, sorry about that. And for those that don't know, Darkstar57 is currently working on shirts. He's got an awesome design, and it's Duck Fisney. So it's hashtag Duck Fisney, and it has a duck in a suit with a gun. And it's wonderful. It's fantastic. I love it. I don't know if it's changed at all since the last time I saw it, but when I did see it, it was fantastic. All right, jumping back to the YouTube chat at 7:50, Super Anime Gamer says, Agent Carter got canceled because viewership went down to 2 million. If I read stats right, Westworld stooped to 700,000, and they just got renewed, and that's a subscription network. To be woke. Yep. Isn't it amazing that if you're woke, you can, you're just fine. Soul Assassin, you can record on Netflix since when? So it's a service called Play On, and it's a DVR service for your subscription services. And so what it does is it plays your Netflix, you can basically build up a queue of your Netflix stuff, movies, television. It'll play it in real time. So it's not a fast thing, right? So if the movie's 2 hours, it'll take 2 hours to record. But once it records the file to your computer, and then you have it. You own it at that point. And the reason why it's legal is because DVR has already been deemed legal. Right? So you can be downloaded and it can be stored. And so therefore it's doing the same exact thing. And as I said, when it works, it's great. However, I have been noticing that it's been having some issues with Netflix for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. For Sci-Fi, my first job was running errands for a guy who owned a giant tool cabinet which contained only duct tape and a hammer. If you couldn't fix something with either, it couldn't be fixed. Damn. All right, let's see what message. Oh Lord. All right, yeah, he's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have blocked him for this, because I think this is kind of funny. Disney's best show is Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which means Disney is the greatest. I actually like that. I think that's funny, because that's such a crap show. Oh man, I kind of think that's funny. All right, Megan Martinez, Rick and Morty. Okay, I see. He was still making comments. Okay, that wasn't the one that got him shut down. Let's see, Megan Martinez. Rick and Morty is a really good show. I think it's extremely funny and creative. I think it really starts to get going after the second and third episode of season 1, in my opinion. Yeah, luckily the episodes are short, so it looks like it'd be something that would be easy to binge watch, which would be nice. All right, let's see what message got the guy. Oh, he says pee pee poo poo. I think it was quoting PewDiePie. I don't think Tina watches PewDiePie, but God, PewDiePie has been awesome recently. Like I was a fan of his in the early years, and then he had this weird phase where I couldn't watch it anymore. It just was very uninteresting, and for the past, I want to say, a year or so, he has just been on fire. And I love his stuff. I watch his stuff every single day. and the series he's doing. I think it really started to take off when he started doing Minecraft, though. I'm going to be honest. All right, Soul Assassin. I believe that Russian doll creator let out the news herself so that the Bobs will bend the knee and allow her to make the show or face the feminist hordes. I think that seems likely too. Member Edgardo Martinez says, hello, everybody. What's going on, Edgardo? Alex McCarthy, I believe in ghosts. I mod for a goosefin ghost. Also, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. A goosefin? A goosefin? A goosefin ghost? What? Huh? I got the I ain't afraid of no ghost. Edgardo Martinez, YouTube did not notify me, and I searched manually the live stream. Yeah, that's what YouTube does, because YouTube sucks. We still got 101 people watching. Smash that like button. Appreciate it. Cubic Volume, do you think cinema going in general has peaked? Yes, I do. I don't think any movie's ever going to be able to match the Endgame numbers that were reached this past year. I think that we've reached our peak as far as being able to outdo that. And I think that now, especially during the time of the virus, I think that video on demand services are being shown just how profitable they can be. And so I think some studios might start to consider releasing smaller budget films directly to VOD, or doing a dual thing where they release it in theaters and VOD. And I think that that could definitely be something that we see happen more so in the future. But yes, overall, I agree. Cinema going has peaked in general. I've been saying this for a long time on the channel, long before the virus, that we probably had another 10 years or so left of the movie theater industry before it just kind of became a niche market. And I think this has kind of sped out the process. I would say now it's probably cut the time in half, like another 5 years or so. It could be even sooner than that, where we'll see just, again, almost everything move to streaming. You'll still have movies come out, right? But the box office will not have as much of a impact or as much strength. And I think that you're going to start to see that once theaters reopen. I don't think the box office is ever going to fully recover, because think about all of the movie theaters that are going to have to shut down because of this, that even with stimulus money are not going to be able to sustain themselves, especially when you have restrictions. When the theaters do open, they might not be able to open at 100% capacity. They aren't going to have as many people coming because people are going to be afraid. And I think that overall, you also now have a huge portion of people that realize, oh, I can enjoy so much content at home. Why would I leave the house? So, Boss Level, I'm 19. I stopped watching Star Wars after Grievous died. I miss the cyborg guy. It's a fair point. Sasha Neons, I'm Bo Jiden, and I forgot this message. Heaven help us in November. Oh, man. And I've always been a middle-of-the-road guy. We're screwed either way. Again, we can argue and say that there's been a lot of good things that have happened under the current administration, and I will agree with those things. But there's also just a lot of crap happening too. Christopher Mills, what do you think about the PNP orcs being called racist against black people? I've not heard that, actually. Forever Sci-Fi says, hashtag the fourth is female. I like that. That's great. J God J, who is more woke, Brie Larson or Tessa Thompson? Brie Larson. I think we have more content from Brie to go off of than Tessa. They're probably both just as woke as the other. Addis Over the Reality says, Odin's movie blog upgraded. Okay, so you were saying you upgraded your membership. Perfect, dude. Well, I will contact you. I hope that you message me on Patreon, because sometimes I forget, because I can get you set up with that. Tina, have you checked to see if your stream is being ghosted? People aren't finding it on YouTube sub page and getting late notifications, if any at all. I know Gary's had issues. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be being ghosted. And I mentioned this on the last stream, that the numbers seem to indicate that I've been ghosted for a while, but I'm not in the position to start and stop a stream. So it's just, and here's the other thing too. I feel like most of the people that want to be here are going to be here because I always stream at the same time. Tuesday and Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I think that even if I were not to show up in your sub feed, it might not be good for getting new people. And I hate that, right? We have over 20,000 subscribers. It'd be great to have more people here. But as I've always said, it's about the quality of the people, not the quantity. And if you know when the stream is, you'll always be able to find it. Because unless something happens and I tell you all on social media that I can't stream on a given day, every Tuesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. With very few exceptions to that. I would argue that I'm able to make almost 95% plus of those dates. And usually it's a pretty good reason why I can't. Rob D, hey Odin, how's the new house? I recently watched Extraction on Netflix and a Netflix version of Hateful Eight. Have you seen those? Not seen Extraction. I've heard good things about it though. Heard the action in that film is fantastic. I have seen the Netflix version of the Hateful Eight, the extended edition. It is Awesome. Love it, dude. I think that the way they do it as like episodic works very, very well with it. All right, I'm getting some action over on DLive, so let me shout out some people over on DLive. So Adam and the Clan, thank you again for those 3 lemons. I appreciate it very, very much. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't skip anyone else. Will Gentry says, I really like PewDiePie, but just watching him play Minecraft or review memes does get a bit tedious, so I watch his other videos. See, I like those videos. Yeah, I love Luai. Luai is great. I love the song, too. It's so catchy. Captain Darkstar 57, thank you for the 2 ice cream donations. Appreciate it. Captain Peabody, no, it is Wednesday and Sunday, 7 a.m. Get it right. If you're in Australian time, then yes, I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7 a.m. That's a fair point. I need to find a way to get like the schedule up and it to have like every time zone covered. That's what I need to find out. Will Gentry, you're both wrong. It's midnight Sunday and Wednesday. Yeah, it's for the UK people. Y'all are awesome. Orange Hat Reviews over on YouTube. Saw the Disney trilogy was on sale for $9.99 each on Amazon. That's $30 more than what they are worth as a whole. Yep. Yes, indeed. Christopher Mills, can I have a Y-Wing painted red with Iron Cross on it in a few places? I don't see why not. I do not see why not. I just heard a voice talk to me. And no, it's not a ghost, and it wasn't a demon. I don't know where it'd be coming from, though, because my speakers are off. Maybe it came from my phone. Maybe my phone, like, maybe it thought that I said, like, one of those catchwords that makes it go. I don't know. Dion, release the OG cut. Yes. Gigabus Prime. There is a 1996 Flash Gordon cartoon you can watch on YouTube. You might like it. Thanatos Felicitas says the only person in ZZ Top without a beard is named Beard. Yes. I have heard that before, and I think that's fantastic. Out of Step with Reality says, coffee cups in the future. Coffee cups in the future? Will they be there? Yes. As long as you need coffee, you'll have coffee cups, I will say. Jedi Brooks, because I saw it, Odin question has to be one word. All together, one word. He says, have you watched Chernobyl? The Terror or The Haunt of Hill House, if so, thoughts. I have not seen any of those. The Haunt of Hill House looks terrifying, so that's why I've avoided it. I think The Terror is also a horror, if I'm not mistaken, based on the poster for it. And Chernobyl I've heard great things about, but there's apparently some very sad scenes with dogs, and I don't know if I can get through that. Hardwick says, Haley Atwell's American accent is so good because she grew up half in America and half in the UK. Her father's American. She talked about it in a great 2015 interview she did on Kimmel. That's awesome. That's great. He then says the interview was great because of Haley Atwell and despite the presence of Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, I get you. I totally understand that. Jimmy Kimmel is insufferable. Michael Martinez, what are your thoughts on Extraction? Have not seen it yet. Nano Reaper says 103 people watching on YouTube and 108 likes. Awesome. That is fantastic. We have 107. Please smash that like button. It means a lot. Michael Martinez, there were moments in Rise of Skywalker where I was just cringing like crazy. Such an awful movie. Yep. And there was a part in the movie where everyone in the theater started laughing. It was specifically after Kylo Ren died. Everyone's like, what? Really? That's the direction you go with that? Are you sure about that? Okay. Brian Kim, at least Attack of the Clones taught me how to pick up women by talking about sand. Last Jedi left me disenfranchised. Rise of Skywalker broke canon forever. Yes, this is all true. I'm glad you brought that up. There is an excellent, if you like musicals and you like Star Wars, there is a musical out there called Annie. Not the one about the little girl with the red hair that's really bad. I mean Annie, A-N-I, all about little Anakin Skywalker. However, it starts off dealing with Darth Vader. And it's fantastic. It's a little bit different because the actors in the musical don't sing. It's the band that sings while the actors do choreography. But it is fan-freaking-tastic. And I love it so much. Oh, speaking of fan-freaking-tastic, let me go ahead and change this real quick. Boom. Yes, because I found out how to get the old window that allows me to read the entire message on Streamlabs OBS. And so Riff Magos, thank you very much for donating $5 via Streamlabs. And thank you so much, man, for donating via Streamlabs, because YouTube gets no cut of that donation. And it goes basically directly to me, other than processing fees, which are so much less than what YouTube takes. YouTube takes out like 30%. So for, once again, shout out Phantom Menace. Thank you once again for that $100 super chat you donated earlier. But YouTube gets $30 of that. I get $70. If that was on Streamlabs, I would get about $95, $96 of that, while the processing fees would be about $4. So as you can see, YouTube sucks. But anyway, Riff Mangos, thank you for the donation, man. He says, Hail Odin. They can call us 50-somethings all they want, but if no OT Star Wars existed and the Disney trilogy was the only thing which came out, Star Wars would have died before it barely started. Roundhead, and now we have Squarehead. Yes, indeed. Hail Riff Magos. You're absolutely right. Imagine if we didn't have the originals. Imagine if we didn't have Clone Wars, if we didn't have Rebels, and all that we had was the new Star Wars trilogy. You wouldn't have a massive... Because I would love for Disney, or any company, to do a survey of how many people are new fans compared to old fans. And I would argue, and I think that there might be... Again, I could easily be living in that bubble mentality. I understand that. But I honestly believe that if you were to list the number of people that like OG Star Wars and compare it to the people that actually like new Star Wars, it'd be night and day. And also, I'd argue that you have more people that became fans of Star Wars. I think this would be the better question. How many people became fans of Star Wars because of OG Star Wars versus how many people became fans because of Disney trilogy? Again, I think it would be night and day numbers. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Out of step with reality. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Says, I would be interested in an Odin's movie blog cup, coffee cup. Any plans on creating and selling some? I might have one at my TeePublic store. So in the links of the description of this video, there should be a TeePublic link. And so I have my shirts on Teespring, and then on TeePublic I have a lot of other stuff, like there's pillows and blankets, I think even, that have the logo on it. I want to say there is a coffee cup too. If there isn't, that's something I could definitely work on in the future. And in your Patreon message, remind me of that, man, and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, it's basically the logo you see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen right here, on t-shirts, on things. So if you are interested in some Odin's Movie Blog merch, I actually offer, not to boast, some of the best deals in the Phantom Menace. A lot of other people, they charge $20, $25 for their shirts, and I understand it. You got to make a little bit of money, a little bit of cheddar off of that. I offer them at the cheapest price I possibly can. The best deal you'll get is on Teespring. The base shirt costs about $13, and then, of course, you have to pay more for shipping and stuff, but the base cost is only $13 for a basic t-shirt. The high-quality shirt, I think I bumped it up to $16, but I get very little actual cash back on those because I wanted to be able to say, all right, if you want to support the channel, it's a great way to do it, but you don't have to break the bank in the process. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, check out the links in the description. Teespring, should be teespring.com/OdinsMovieBlog and teepublic.com/OdinsMovieBlog. Both stores have shirts. The better deal for shirts is at Teespring, but TeePublic has a lot of other stuff, I think there's even onesies, for kids, for babies and such. It's weird. I was like, I'll check off all the things. Yes, let's have everything that I possibly can. But anyway, Brian Kim, I went off on a tangent. So anyway, in the Annie the Musical that I was talking about earlier, this is the ADD brain, there is an entire song made up of nothing else but pickup lines from Anakin Skywalker. Literally every lyric is from Attack of the Clones, and it's a line that he says to Padme. And it's an amazing song. So I recommend, again, looking up Annie the Musical. It's done by a group called Team Star Kid. They've done a lot of other great musicals too. There's a Holy Musical Batman about Batman. It's hilarious. There is one about the Oregon Trail that's great. There's, of course, the thing that got them famous, the Harry Potters that they did, Harry Potter musical, Harry Potter sequel, etc. They have a lot of really good stuff. But yeah, the one they did on Annie I watched it the other day, and they have that one song gets me every time. Micah Martinez, Good Time is intense, but I don't think it's quite as crazy or insane as Uncut Gems. All right, that's good to hear. I did not like Uncut Gems. Gigamus Prime, would a young Mel Gibson have been a good live-action Punisher? I would argue that you could do an old man Punisher, and he would be a great one today. Old man Punisher sounds good to me. Just saying. Out of step with reality, here is something funny. Imagine Happy Gilmore chasing Kathleen Kennedy yelling, "You gonna die, clown!" That'd be funny. Super. It's almost like they removed themselves from the market. Disney isn't content. They feel as if they no longer have to compete or appeal to every fan. It's crazy. They're way too big. Yeah. They're way too big. Thanotos Felicitas. Last year, I bought the original VHS at auction for $100. Nice. Alex McCarthy, guest Odin. As they said in Jane Silent Bob Reboot, Batfleck was the bomb. I disagree. Michael Martinez, I watched Casino last night, and I think it's a pretty underrated Scorsese film. I personally think it's just as good as Goodfellas. I don't think it's just as good, but it is pretty good. I've only seen it one time, so I can't remember everything about it, but it's solid. Oh, Lord. Come on, dude. Really? Everett, man, you disappoint me, dude. That's not cool. You might think you're cool, but that's not cool. Thank you for the super chat. He says, a demon facts for real. Okay. Just makes me sad. Hardwick, Disney used to try to please fans. They even made a one-shot to retcon the Mandarin twist because fans complained and brought Coulson back because fans created the hashtag Coulson Lives campaign. That's very true. Yeah, and that one-shot of the Mandarin is fantastic too, by the way. Let's see. Chat jumped on me once again. Let us see. Where did we leave off in the chats? All right, I think someone... All right, looks like the chat jumped on me. No, it did jump on me, but I think that... Okay, we're good. Tina says, the Trojan Mouse. Oh, I did hear about it, but I haven't checked it out yet. Edgardo Martinez, contemporary script writers that don't know the franchise they're working for, you must be talking of another type of professional. Hardwick, the person who worked on Galaxy's Edge, also said Kathleen Kennedy, paraphrasing, they shouldn't focus on the OT because they will make so much more Star Wars that the OT will just be a drop in the bucket, and that did not work at all. Christopher Mills, I already read that comment, dude. Super. So true. 2D animation has so much personality and style, whereas Disney computer animation style is too clean and all looks the same. I hate the way Western animation has gone. I agree for sure. Yes, Edgardo 006 Trevlin. I don't know if Will Gentry apologized or not, but Bruce, a duck in a suit with a gun. I'm in on that one. Where it at? Bruce, it's not available yet, but it will be soon. It should definitely be available by the time we have our next Chosen of Valhalla live stream, and we'll have Randy plug that, and we'll definitely have the links available because hopefully it'll be available for purchase then, because that'd be awesome. And hopefully I'll be wearing one by that time too. Tina says, never watched PewDiePie. I sub so he could beat the one dude, but never watched a single video. Oh, you should. He's funny. Hardwick, did you ever hear about the Cartinelli shippers? They were to Agent Carter what Reylos are to the sequel trilogy. They wanted Peggy Carter and waitress Angie Martinelli to get together. Yeah, I heard about it briefly when I was doing research on the show, but obviously I skipped it. Jay Stowe, to add that parody act of that can be getting the diverse female-led cast, crew, and production. Act 1 of that can be... So, to add to that parody act... Act 1 of that can be getting the diverse female-led cast, crew, and production. Act 2, they do the promoting. The final act, they try to figure out what went wrong and blame. Nitrium, Hail Odin. Next year's Oscars are going to allow streamed movies for 1 year only. Also, sound mixing, editing awards are combined into a single awards best sound going forward. Really, Nitrium? I did not see that news. I'm sure that's breaking, and so I'll have to probably cover that tomorrow on the channel. Alice McCarthy, Goosefin Ghost is what Krista, aka Darth Barbie, identifies as. Oh. Gigamis, do you ever worry automation will eventually take away your job as a teacher, a robot teacher that can be programmed to teach anything? No, because teaching is one of those rare things that automation really can't do as well. Because if you're going to go in that direction, then you could say, why not just read a book? But you need something with intelligence to teach it to you and to be able to explain it to you. And yeah, we can get to the argument about AI, but if AI ever becomes to be as good of a teacher as an actual person, we have different problems. Skynet, anybody? Micah Martinez, I feel like $1 billion movie will be still around, but it won't reach Endgame levels. I don't think any movie will reach $2 billion anytime soon, not even Avatar 2. Yeah, I mean, I think $1 billion movies are still going to happen, but yeah, as I said, nothing's going to reach Endgame levels. Super. Even if we see the end of movie theaters in the US, do you think they will still persist abroad? How do you think they'll do? It really depends on the country. Having not lived in other countries, I can't really speak to how strong the markets are there. But I imagine that if the US is not producing money, studios are less likely to put it out in theaters, even overseas, when they could just do it online. All righty, let's see. Gigamus Prime. If your house really is haunted, then you should invite Jeremy over. He wants to investigate ghosts. Nope, it's not. Christopher Mills, that is one of Manfred Albrecht Freyer's von Richthofen planes paint job, also known as the Red Baron of World War I. Yeah, wow. That's a mouthful right there. Oh, man. Super says, I have seen Mahler's unbridled rage on The Rise of Skywalker as the only proper way to experience that dumpster fire. Bruce, Rise of Skywalker is so bad. I couldn't contain my outburst during the viewing, and yes, I did not pay to watch it. Allegedly, of course. Gigamus Prime, since you are Odin, could you take Zeus in a fight, pagan god versus pagan god? Yeah. Zeus ain't got nothing on me. Tina says, well, Disney lost their fake new fans when Kylo and What's-Her-Face had their We're Just Friends kiss, and then he died. Yep. Oh, it's so freaking bad. Hologram Nunchuck, what's the ring on your left hand? It looks like a CIF championship ring. It is a high school ring, class ring. Jay Stowe says, well, if there's a coffee cup, I might just have to snag one up. Please do. Jay Stowe was not talking to me. Let's see, where are we in the chats? Micah Martinez says, the story ain't that great in Extraction, but the action is fantastic. Chris Hemsworth, awesome. And that's what I've heard. I've heard the story isn't much, but the action and the way it's shot are pretty damn good. So that's what I've heard too. All right, looks like we're finally slowing down a little bit. We still got 97 people watching. Yeah, I do need to start wrapping up though, because I am over time. So let us see. Let me catch up with my D-Live fam really quick. Oh Lord. Even D-Live is far behind right now. It is so crazy. Oh man. What's going on? D-Live, y'all going crazy tonight. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, I think I'm in. Captain Doc 77, thank you for the 2 ice cream donations. Captain Peabody says, no, it is Wednesday and Sunday at 7 a.m. Get it right. Will Gentry, you're both wrong. It's midnight Sunday and Wednesday. Okay, sorry, that's a repeat on my part. Captain Peabody, hidden voice. My ma pocket called me the other day. I was calling out ma, and she thought it was Auntie's talking clock. Bonemo, can you believe it's been already a year since Endgame came out? No, I can't. That's insane. Will Gentry, 119 upvotes and 0 downvotes. That's really rare. You should feel proud. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Now I'm going to get downvotes. Captain Heights, for that 30%, you should get better stream quality and reliability. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be amazing? Will Gentry, and Odin's movie vlog onesie. Sign me up, good sir. I'll take 5. Again, for a child. You wouldn't fit in it. I don't think they have a legit one. And then Captain Peabody says, yes, we need an Odin onesie. I'll see what I can do. Will Gentry, it's not just Disney. There's lots of companies taking their fans for granted. Just look at Star Trek and Doctor Who. That's a great point. He also says, every time you say that chat jumped, you should put $5 in a skip jar. By the end of the year, you'd have enough to cover Christmas. That's true. Well, Gentry, I will never admit it. I will never admit I am at fault. And you claiming I was wrong, is just white male oppression. Check your privilege, bigot, he says. All right, straight white male. Oh, Lordy. But you were wrong. You're wrong. Captain Darkstar, do you still have the image of the duck I sent you? I can resend it if you don't. I do not have it on me. Captain Peabody, at least here we don't skip the chat. That is very true. Captain Adam, a wiener dog would fit. That's true. He probably would. Phonemo, it'll be... I'll be sure to downvote on YouTube just to keep you humble. Well, thank you, Phoneme. I appreciate it. 70B says, want me to time out? Not for now. Let's see. Michael Martinez, the story isn't that great. Okay, got one already. Tina, we just warn them no real names. There's a couple of them in the chat. They claim to know you. Okay. About to say, I didn't see... Okay. Yeah, now I recognize a little bit. So, yeah, it's former students. It's amazing that the former students are doing that, but my current students aren't. A little bit more respectful, I would say. Orange Hat, I saw Scarface for the first time. Gotta say, I wish I watched it sooner. Great movie. I wasn't a fan of it. I couldn't understand a damn word he was saying. Chris Ramil says, sorry about that. I asked it a second time because I didn't know it had vanished during the chat jump. Because it hadn't. Mike Martinez, I can't wait for November and December. There's so many movies coming out, and I think I'll have my Regal Unlimited account active. Yeah, if they keep that going, man, because they might have to change it. Gigamus Prime, diversity is like a spice. Use it logically and sparingly. If you use too much, the food tastes stale. Such Neon's movies will make billions from inflation, not quality. Yeah. Tina Bojan says, so true on the teacher versus robot comment. I design e-learning for a living. However, all our curricula always involves a human along the way. Again, you have to always... I could see, not automation, but I could see online classes where you have one teacher teaching like thousands of students through streaming. That I could see happening, but you still have to have a person. So, let's see. All right, let's see. Where were we in the chat before it jumped on me once again? But we need to start wrapping things up, so please slow down the comments if you can. Tina Bojan, got that one already. Hardwick, do you miss Craig Ferguson's late night show? His banter with guests was often hilarious. He was like a Scottish Groucho Marx. From what I saw of him, he was funny, but I didn't watch him all that much. Gigabytes Prime, what if I put an AI in charge of Disney instead of Bob Iger? Rhaegar Targaryen, Red Letter Media also had a great Rise of Skywalker review. They basically roasted the movie. Their Star Trek, Picard, and Discovery episodes were also hilarious. Yeah, they're a great channel, Red Letter Media. They're awesome. Tina says, thanks for going off before 9 p.m. Eastern. I want to watch the season finale of Curse of Oak Island. I'm doing the best I can, Tina. Super. Speaking of onesies, will you don your Chewbacca one in your stream Monday? I don't think I am streaming Monday. If I do stream one day, maybe not. Depends on the crowd. Bruce says, right now, Drunk is doing a onesie live stream. He always does. I love Drunk. Harold Francis, thank you very much for that $20 super chat. Says, Hail Odin. MCU needs to reflect true Asgardian power levels. Demote Bree to hell level. Maybe she can hold Sutur's sword. Well, hail to you, good sir. Thank you very much, Harold Francis, for that $20 super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keeps the lights on. Grandpappy Fisk. I just saw that. He said free Joe Exotic. It's a great name. It's a great name, and I will gladly say yes. Hashtag free Joe Exotic. No question. And then he gives Prime, make Flash Gordon chatbot that gives compliments. No, I'm not going to do that. All right. Thank y'all for slowing down the chat for the most part. I appreciate y'all for being great. And let's see. Will Gentry says over on DLive, well, former students don't have to answer to you anymore. Of course, they're going to have to get mouthy with you. They're teenage. Remember, that's true. However, I also still am good friends with people that do still work at that place. So I would be careful. Just going to say that. Because as I always said when I worked there, and I still say to my students now, you represent your school 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whether you're in school, off school, remote learning, or not. So remember that next time you decide to jump in and cause chaos. Well, Gentry, I might be a straight white man, but you're a straight white Christian man, so I win at Oppression Olympics. Privilege checked. Yeah. Have you seen modern day America? Is it really privileged to be a Christian nowadays? I would argue it's not. You didn't even do anything, man, over on DLive, but every single person that I have issues with, it almost always starts that way. So I'm just going to jump on that. Right away. But anyway, thank y'all so much for being here tonight, for being so supportive. DLive fam, YouTube fam, y'all are great. Let me go ahead, since we didn't have that many shout outs. So Harold Francis, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, The Phantom Menace. Thank y'all so much for your donations, especially Phantom Menace, dude, dropping that $100 super chat, man. That really does mean a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are freaking awesome. Please make sure to hit that like button before you leave today. Also, please consider becoming a Patreon or Subscribe Star member. Next month is starting very soon. So if you want to get a jump start on any of those, just know that you get charged for Patreon and Subscribe Star, I believe, right away. So if you want to hold off until May 1st, if you want to become a new member, that might be the best time to do it. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool benefits. Make sure you check out YouTube memberships as well, as YouTube memberships are now live. You see that little join button, and there's some perks attached to that as well, including access to the video feed and video version of the podcast that I do with John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel. We've fallen a little bit behind because of my moving and scheduling, and he has the weirdest sleep schedule ever. He's up until 5, 6 in the morning, and then sleeps until 2 or 3 p.m., and it just doesn't work with my schedule. So you guys are freaking awesome. So thank y'all so very much for being here, smashing that like button, being awesome people. And while I'm thinking of it, I need to fix something really quickly. Let's see here. I need to that's the thing I need to change. All right. Because I've updated the Patreon video, and I forgot to update it here. Boom! It is ready to go. So everybody, thank y'all so very much for being awesome, amazing, and beautiful people. DLive people, y'all stick around as normal. And I'll actually, because of y'all's generosity tonight with your subs and everything, I'll be able to give a pretty big chest. You guys are freaking awesome, so thank y'all so very much for being awesome. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to my April Patreon and Subscribe Star members. We have animation commentator Brian P., Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunker Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, J.J. Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And to my Subscribe Star members, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadon G. Adams, and ZK Man. And Out of Step with Reality, and Albertus Magnus, and JJB Net, and Tina Bojan, and Laura the Modern Major General story. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank spot just previously in case any more people decide to become a Patreon or Subscribe Star member over the next few days. Just remember that as soon as you sign up, you are immediately eligible for any of the benefits. If you just sign up at the $1 tier on Subscribe Star or Patreon, you get a shout out at the end of every single video, including my live streams. If you're a $5 or up backer on either platform, you get access to exclusive giveaways where I give away several 4K Blu-rays, digital copies every single month as well. If you jump up to the $10 tier on either platform, you get access to all of that, plus you get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with my friend John the Flick Pick of John Flickinger and the Flick Pick fame. We do a bi-weekly podcast, so every 2 weeks or so we do one. So you get probably about 2 or 3 depending on what's going on, probably more so now with everything going on in the craziness of our world. But you do get access to that. Also, if you are at that $10 tier, it means that you get to take part in the Q&A part of that podcast. And so about 24 to 48 hours before the podcast, maybe even longer beforehand, I'll leave a post in the Patreon Subscribe Star. You'll be able to leave a comment on a question that you want us to answer, on a topic that you want us to cover in a future podcast as well. All of that you have access to. And if you're a $25 backer and up, you get all of those things. Plus, you get a t-shirt for your first month. That's right. You get a free t-shirt, high quality Odin's Movie Vlog t-shirt. So just make sure if you're at a $25 and up backer level, you leave your address. That way I know where to send that to. And also I will be messaging you to get your size information. That way I can send that out to you as quickly as possible. But you also get access to an exclusive Chosen of Valhalla live stream that we have once a month on this channel, where I invite you to be on the show. You can either show your face or not show your face, or hey, you don't have to show up at all. It's totally up to you. And we talk about a wide variety of things. We talk about movies that you've been watching, modern things going on, the pop culture, and pretty much anything that you yourself want to talk about. So if any of these things sound interesting to you and things that you'd want to do, please hit that Patreon Subscribe Star link in the description of this video and think about joining today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And as always, God bless.